everyone, today I'm going to be giving my review of the LEGO Fantastic Four versus Galactus construction figure. So let's get into it. So the set is for the up and coming Marvel movie, The Fantastic Four First Steps. I'm very excited to see this movie next month. So I was also very excited to get this set for my birthday. It retails for $60 and has 427 pieces. So that's not a great price to part ratio. It is a licensed set though, with a few larger parts, so maybe it's warranted, maybe not. It comes with four minifigures, of course, the Fantastic Four. So that's Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm. So one thing I appreciate right off the bat about this set is the fact that this is the whole set. The thing you see here, Galactus, that is the whole thing. There's no other random BS to kind of up the price and slightly up the piece count while not adding any value. This is the real deal. And I like this because now I actually want to use the set itself. There's a lot of sets that I'll get and it'll really just be for the minifigures. I don't care about the actual content itself, but this is just iconic. This is Galactus. If y'all aren't Marvel fans, he's one of the big bads that destroys planets. And I never thought that we would get him in Lego, and I think he looks really good. I think the worst part about him visually is just the fact that there's this space where you can see the joint in his neck. But besides that, it looks really clean. The proportions kind of were bothering me while I was building it. If you look at his legs, they're a lot longer than his arms are. I think if they shortened them just slightly, oops, not, come on, let's focus. It'll focus in a second. I think if they shortened them slightly, it would work better, but still looks just fine. Here's his face and helmet here. It's just printed, it's not a sticker. I don't think Lego would ever make a sticker of something this important. But the helmet looks really good. His armor looks really good, besides just that hole there, like I was saying. He has like this kind of tunic thing, just made out of these flaps, that does a pretty good job of what it's supposed to be. You got his legs, you got his like kind of boots. And this is the other thing that I didn't really like, is just having these exposed studs. It's like, why? You could cover those up very easily, but that's how they decided to do it. But overall, looks really good. Coming around the back, still looks pretty good. And he has this little thing here. This is just to kind of stand up the minifigures, like Human Torch when he's flying. In terms of how much he's able to move, his head is of course able to rotate left and right. It can also kind of nod up and down just a little bit. It's very restricted by his shoulder pauldrons. Moving down, we do have good joint movement in the shoulders, and then the elbow, we don't have as much movement. You can only just hinge it forward and backwards, which I really think is fine for an elbow. I know some people don't like that though. His wrists, you got good movement there. They also do a good job of kind of shielding the joints besides the one in the neck. So here, the joint is kind of, you see it's hidden under that piece of armor right there. And I think that's really good. It gives him the movement that he needs without making him look like a bionicle figure. Same thing here. The legs do have movement. You can move them forward and backwards. It's hard for me to do because I'm using one hand and I'm holding the camera with the other hand, so I can't really stabilize him. But you can move the legs forward and backwards. You can also adjust the knees forward and backwards as well. And then even the ankles have some movement where you can rotate them in this axis and then also forward and backwards a little bit, which is really nice. It allows you to do cool poses with them. So you can have him kind of walking, and you can actually do quite a bit of poses with him. I'm going to stop the camera real quick and get him in another pose just to show y'all. So I got him in another pose here. I guess I can like change something like that. I don't know what this is. It looks like he's like partying or something. It's getting lit. You see The whole knee is bent, leg is very far bent forward, and he's actually stable in this, even with both legs bent like this. He's kind of tilted off at an angle. And yeah, he still stands up. So there's a lot of posability here. You see, when you get to some of these extreme angles, the pauldrons kind of have to push out of the way. But I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. And I also forgot to mention, but he can actually rotate at the waist as well. Here, I'll just rotate it, that you can see. Yeah, so he can rotate very significantly at the waist. It has some friction to it also, so he's not going to just be spinning around. There we go. I got it to work. So yeah, good posability all around. The most restrictive things are the head, which is unfortunate, especially when you can see the joint right there, and then also just his elbows. But like I said, very good posability as a construction figure. So now we take a look at the Fantastic Four. Another thing that I thought we would never get in Lego. And no, that was not meant to be a pun. Going from left to right, we have Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Susan Storm, Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm, Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, The Thing. And they all pretty much have the same uniform, except Mr. Fantastic's doesn't have the white collar because he just doesn't have a white collar in the movie, whereas the other three do. And I think it looks fine. It would have been cool if they had some individual elements, but they are pretty similar to each other. The annoying thing about these figures to me is just the fact that Invisible Woman and Human Torch have reused heads. These two heads have been reused within the Lego Marvel franchise just forever, like used to death. I don't get why they can't get some fresh new faces, but I'll show you all the alternate faces for all of these characters as well. Starting with Mr. Fantastic, he has this happier face, which is pretty good. I just would have wanted him to have one face that seems concerned, since he seems like he has a lot of guilt in the movie about Galactus. And then he has these stretchy legs, which are interesting. I would have liked. I don't like the little white boots that they gave him when he stretches because his normal figure doesn't have that. It's not like dual molded or anything. So that just feels weird to me. But overall, pretty nice accessories. I think the best in terms of the accessories are Invisible Woman shields. They just look perfect for what they're supposed to be. This is her alternate face. Like I said, has been used to the ground. I think every Black Widow figure after 2016 or something has that same face. Then we have Johnny Storm. They give you a little bit of fire pieces. They also give you a little bit of fire blast that you can put in his hands. He has this worried face. Again, this face has been reused over and over, though, too. I think they used it for a version of Peter Parker in recent years. And then The Thing, both of his faces look great to me. I like his head element. The thing I don't like are these hands. I feel like it was probably the right move to make him a minifigure. But if you're gonna make him a minifigure, I would just stick to that. I would just commit to that. I guess it doesn't hurt to include the hands because if someone doesn't really care for it like me, they can just not include them. So I guess that's a good addition. If I were gonna have hands like that, I would commit to like making him Hagrid size or the size of Axel from like Nexo Knights or something. But still great figures all around. All right, so overall, what do I think about this set? I think that this is a really good set. Like I said, I don't like it when Lego sets, especially when they're supposed to be for movies, just add random stuff to increase the price and increase the part count. And this set does not do this. This is the set right here. This is what you're getting. And I think that's a really good thing that Lego should continue to do with the Marvel set. Like I said, this is a really good set that I think it is worth picking up. We've never gotten Galactus before in Lego. We've never gotten the Fantastic Four before in Lego. So I'm really happy to have had the chance to get this. Would I get it for $60? I don't know about that. I would probably try and find it for cheaper or wait a little bit until it goes down in price. But I think this set will be very, very iconic and one that I'll have up for a while, and it'll feel like a worthwhile investment of my investment in my enjoyment. So those are my thoughts on the set. Let me know what you all think in the comments, and thank you all for watching.